Hi, I'm Terry Cook, and welcome to my Let East party.
When this whole world starts getting me down and people are just too much for me to take,
up on the roof
I climb way up to the top of the stairs and all my cares just drift right into space.
Up on the roof,
on the roof it's peaceful as can be, and there the world below won't bother me. Let me tell you now, when I come home feeling tired and beat, I go up where the air is fresh and sweet.
up on the roof,
And if this world starts getting to you, there's room enough for two up on the roof.
up on the roof,
On the roof, the only place I know where you just have to wish to make it so. So let's go up on the roof.
up on the roof,
When the sun beats down and burns the tar from all the roof, and your shoes get so hot you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby's where I'll be. Take it, guys.
under the boardwalk,
Out of the sun, we'll be having some fun.
the boardwalk,
People walking above, we'll be falling in love under the boardwalk.
boardwalk.
Hi, I'm Bobby Dorr for Main Event Video. We're here at Let East, the world's largest 50s party. Over 1,500 custom cars are here gathered at the Meadowland Sheraton in New Jersey, and we're going to take a look at them close up and personal.
We're having a party. Everybody singing, dance to the music on the radio. So listen, Mr. DJ, he knows we can bring having such a good time. So listen, Mr. DJ, keep the record playing, 'cause I'm having such a good time dancing with my baby. Say we're having us a party, having us a party. Everybody singing, yeah. Dance to the music on the radio. So listen, Mr. DJ, keep those records playing. Having such a good time dancing with my baby. Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome to the 5th annual Lead East. That's lead, the element that the body men in the 40s and 50s used before the advent of fiberglass and Bondo. To car nuts, it means custom cars, and that's what this event is about. But Lead East is more than a car show. It's a 50s party, celebrating that fabulous era of jelly roll hairdos, white socks, pink and charcoal clothes, big automobiles, doo-wop music, and grease. So roll up your sleeves. We're going to go back in time. It's 1958 once again. In the Lead East handbook, it said that if you wanted to find the man in charge here of Lead East, you had to look for Terry Cook, and the way to find him was look for a fat guy with propellers on his head. And we found him. He's up here on the roof with us. Terry, how did Lead East come about?
Well, it started back in 1983, Bobby, when I had a desire to put on an event in the East Coast for this genre of automobile, 50s vintage automobiles. And I really had no idea that when I did the first event at the Flemington Fairgrounds in September of 1983, that it was going to mushroom into such a insane, spectacular, whatever this out-of-control thing is that it has become.
Looking around here, we see a cappella groups walking through the halls singing. We see bands in the back. There's a teeter-totter contest over there. There's a muffler wrapping contest. It must be a pretty exciting weekend for you.
Yeah, well, I love it. Basically, I'm doing what I like to do for a living, and we're making a certain segment of the population very happy by giving them a lot of 50s stuff, all kind of supercharged into one weekend. It's like the whole entire 50s packed into 2.5 days, basically.
What do you like the best about this event?
Talking to you, Bob. You know I've had a thing for you for years.
Terry, what exactly is a lead sled?
Well, it's a slang term referring to this genre of automobile. Back in the 40s and the 50s, before Bondo and fiberglass were invented, body men used lead to fill in the seams. Consequently, lead and sled rhyme together, and it's a generic term that means a car that's been chopped or has been smoothed or rounded or rolled or lowered. with fender skirts and a plaque that drags against the pavement when you drive along. It's low and slow is the way to go. It's not like jack the car up and spin the tires. It's a whole different direction in terms of automotive enthusiasm.
Here at Let East, I'm taking a ride in one of the most unusual cars of the whole show. Nick Machiavelli's beautiful 1951 Ford. He calls it the Bat's Revenge. What an unusual car you got here, Nick.
Yep. Everybody says I'm weird, I make different ideas and all that, I come up with these crazy ideas, and then they tell me I'm out to lunch and I'm a sick person, but I said they don't like it, they don't look at it.
Is that the reason you built this?
I want to be different. I'm different. I want to be different. Everybody does everything the same, and everything's all the same. I want to be a different person.
Do you drive this car a lot on the street?
No, just at shows. Just a little places, like I drive from my house to the seawall. I go down on the seawall and I just relax, me in the car.
You must get a kick out of everybody looking at this car, huh?
They really bug me. I can't keep people away from the car. They got to touch it. They think it's alive, like it's coming alive. Yeah. I can't do a normal car right. I got to chop everything up. I'm serious. I just go crazy with a torch. When I bought it in the field, in the gas station, and they paid $200 for it. And it was a piece of junk, So I just bought the car and I just started working on it. Me and my friend Brandy Carboni. We started cutting it up, doing this, doing that. We worked when we first started. We worked 9 o'clock in the morning. We got done about 4 o'clock the next day. We chopped the roof and all that, and then we were doing little by little. We worked hard. Everything is steel on it. It's all steel beam. The wings were all made out of steel, and the rods put in and all that. And all electrical doors and everything, Yeah. Can I go in there? All right, hold it.
Do you think anybody out there is looking at this car and saying, boy, I'd like to build something like that and I'll be back with one next year?
Well, I give them credit. They got the brains up here. It's all not muscle, it's up the brains.
This is the very unusual 1954 Chevrolet of John Muller. John, tell us a little bit about your car here.
Well, here I started with a 1954 Chevy Bel Air hardtop. I channeled it 2.5 inches over a 1976 Monte Carlo chassis. I chopped the roof 6 inches. I put 55 Buick rear quarter panels on it, extended about 6 inches, 53 DeSoto grill, 454 big block, 400 turbo tranny, Monte Carlo swivel buckets, tilt wheel, and what you see, lake pipes, built my own Continental wheel, molded everything in.
About how much time do you think you have invested in this?
I have 3 years as of right now.
Why did you use the Monte Carlo frame? That must have been a lot of extra work.
Well, a Monte Carlo is a very good riding car. Coil springs in all 4 corners, and this thing rides really beautiful.
the world's biggest 50s party. We're gonna be rocking out here all weekend at the Sheridan in the Meadowlands, you understand? This is the Wolfman. He's hanging out with a bunch of beautiful ladies that are lost in the 50s here. We're gonna have a real good time all weekend. Oh, yeah!
I think that the whole entire weekend is just all on the same level. It's this warm, friendly feeling with the music that the people know the words to and they sing along to. And as a result, it's the whole weekend. People prepare all year for this. They plan what they're going to wear and that kind of thing. And the whole weekend is bregna of la popla.
Ronnie, dig my clothes, yeah, boy. One button roll. Wait, no one shops the time. Take in your Cadillac. Gotta go to the party, yeah. Please let me your show. I won't see my baby no more.
I'll explain this to you a little bit. What we're going to do here is I'll introduce the greaser contestants to you one by one individually as they come up to the front of the stage. Then you, the crowd, will judge by your applause who do you think the best greaser is. That will explain to everybody that we have the Lead East 1987 greaser right here in front of the stage, and you people judged it. I didn't have anything to do with it, okay? Is that how we can settle it? We can settle it fine. First off, though, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please. Best greaser 1987 ladies, the Fonz. Maryland gets against the Fonz. All you guys, man, you've been great. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I want some nerds up here. Give me the nerds. All the nerds in the crowd. Come on up. Give me some nerds. Chase them, Maryland. Chase them. I love this.
Each time I act, the stars are blind. Who's going home with that tonight? Who's taking that to the room? All right, we got the star here. Over here, we got a star. What's your name? George? Ladies and gentlemen, his name is George. Each night I act the stars of the book. Why must I be? All right. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's break it down. Just give me the drums and the bass guitar. That's all. Each night I act the stars of the book. Here it now. Why must I be a teenager in love? Why must I be a teenager in love? Why must I be a teenager in love? Why must I be a teenager in love?
Hi, I'm Chris Handy, and I'm going to show you what a flamethrower is.
Hey, Nicky, what is this muffler wrapping?
Well, back in the 50s, you know, what it was is when you built your car, you really felt good about it, so you really want to show off what it sounded like. And between the music and the sound of the car, everything just came together. You know, a lot of the guys we used to hang out with used to really enjoy it.
What does it take to make your car do this?
The right combination, right set of pipes, right size pipes. There's a lot to it. It's just not just put a set of mufflers on the car and go.
Did this used to annoy the people in your neighborhood?
Yeah, I'm sure it did, but we used to tell them if you can't take a joke, you know what you can do about it.
We have a number of other things going on. We have a muffler wrapping contest, which is something else that we invented, which if you remember back in the 50s when you put glass packs on your car and you go down the hill and you let off the throttle and they would cackle. Well, we have a test where the people decide which car has the best sounding set of glass packs. We're all wallowing in nostalgia. I mean, you look at the TV now, you look at the TV news, and it's all, can you top this? You know, toll takers set on fire at the, you know, throw your baby out of the 18-story window to get on the TV news, and everything ever since about the middle 60s with the protests in Vietnam and all that kind of stuff was very, very negative, it seems, very harsh. Back in the 50s, the only thing that we were really concerned about was whether or not we had a pimple on our nose or whether or not we were invited to Tommy's party, and consequently what we are doing is we are bringing back all that good feeling of nostalgia of the high school years to these people who are now 35 to 50 years old, and we play the music and the people dress the part and they have the cars and that kind of thing, and consequently the weekend has got a better mood to it than maybe the 50s actually did.
Here at Let East, we get to see a lot of different trends in customizing. Back in the early 60s, when a guy wanted to customize his car a little bit different than anybody else's, he went to the local hardware store. What did he do? He bought some regular draw-pull knobs. Like on this guy's 57 Pontiac, you can see in the grill here, all these are regular draw-pull knobs, just like you'll find at a hardware store and used on a kitchen cabinet. Now, some guys go to extremes. Take a look here at the Dream Lover 1963 Chevrolet convertible. You can see drawer pulls. Red ones here, every space on the grill, anywhere he could put them. He went a little bit more crazy as he went and put some drawer pulls on the headlights here. He's got some drawer pulls here on the parking lights. Then he started really going nuts. Went up here on the hood, he put some more drawer pulls along the wheel well. This guy's unbelievable. I can't believe he did this. How about this interior? Looks like a Mediterranean living room on wheels. Continue in the back, more drawer pulls on the fender skirts. Drawer pulls on the hood. Like unbelievable, going around the back with drawer pulls on the taillights. This is what you would call a real knob job. can you tell me your impressions of Led East?
Great here. One of the biggest shows going.
Are you glad you came?
Sure am. Came last year, too.
If you had your choice, would you rather live now in the 80s or back in the 50s?
Back in the 50s.
Why?
Nicer cars.
Okay, could you tell me your impressions of Led East?
So far, very good. Excellent.
If you had your choice, would you rather live back in the 50s or now in the 80s?
Back in the 50s.
And why?
I think life was much easier then.
I'd probably say the 50s.
And that, why's that?
Better times, you know. Things were slower. It was just a nicer time, it seems.
Whatever possessed you to build a Mustang with a rumble seat?
Kids can relate to it today, and it's different.
Great, it's a fantastic time.
If you had your choice, would you rather live in the 50s or now in the 80s?
Oh, back in the 50s,
and
definitely.
Why?
Oh, it was just a swinging time. Every time there was something to do. Always something happening. You weren't going to drive-in, you're going to sock hop, going to skate burger. You had a ball. Just a great time.
You like cruising in the back seat, huh?
I love cruising.
This is Led East, a show primarily for customized cars and cars from the 50s. Each one of them is an individual work of art. Each one of these guys takes and puts his own personality into sheet metal and paint and upholstery and chrome. And here we bring them all together for one weekend and we boogie our brains out to 50s music. I'm Terry Cook. I'm the guy that puts this thing on. I started doing it 5 years ago. It got a hold of me and took over my life. I had no idea this thing was going to mushroom out of control like it is. But we work all year long on this thing. I got a team of volunteers, and we have a hell of a party here because we try to do all kinds of things to satisfy the people. This ain't a car show, and them's fighting words. This is a party. Some people, they plan what clothes they're going to wear. Some people go out and buy cars and build them and tear them apart and get them done for this date, for this weekend.
What do you suppose is a highlight of this whole 3 days?
Well, it's hard to say, Dean. There is no highlight because the whole entire weekend is a highlight for the year instead of there being any one individual event here that's a highlight. It's a 3-day highlight. It's a 3-day high on tail fins. They don't think of this like I think of normal car shows. They bring their wives, they bring their kids, they bring their next door neighbors, they bring their relatives and their family because this thing has got a friendly family mood and atmosphere to it that normal car shows, as you call them, just don't seem to have, or most of them don't seem to have. It's just the simplicity of having fun with cars, of loving automobiles, and people all loving each other and having a good time with one another. There's very little hassles or very little beef between people here because everybody is in a very mellow, nostalgic, I mean, they're just wallowing in the 50s here.
How do you suppose, what turned the tide that was lost? That feeling?
Well, in '63, the whole pendulum swung the other way, and it became anti-government. The Vietnam War, drugs, and all kinds of stuff in our society changed from a very simple period of time there that happened, a magic period of time that happened from 1955 when Bill Haley and the Comets brought out Rock Around the Clock and lasted until early February 1963 when the Beatles landed on the U.S. shores, and music and our society and our culture and our hair and our clothes and everything else changed. We tried something new this year with a chop topping contest where we had the guys from the Custom Nights Car Club chop a Mercury on the spot here in probably a total of less than 5 hours, although they did not do the finished bodywork, and they brought it in with no windows and window mechanisms in it.
Every year we try to do something different, and the top chopping was one example. Something else we did over in another part of the fairgrounds here, we got the Wheels of Time Street Rod Club from the Allentown, Pennsylvania area, and they brought their teeter-totter in, an ingenious thing that they built. They found out about this, they saw it up at a street rod run in Canada, and what they did is build a platform that's like a fulcrum. And cars drive onto this fulcrum and try and balance it by driving the car forward or backward. We had two classes, one for standard shift or clutch type automobiles, and one for automatics. And it was really a giggle. The people would sit here and they would watch these cars come in, and sometimes they'd load a bunch of guys in like this convertible here, and by leaning backward and forward when they got to the critical point, they would try to balance it. The crowd got as much fun out of it as the people in the cars did.
Here at Let East, you're going to see a lot of vehicles like this Wild Chop pickup truck behind me, equipped with a GMC supercharger, or blower as the street machine crowd calls it. These blowers were originally designed by General Motors for the GMC 671 diesel engine, and the hot rodders have taken these blowers, modified them, and put it on top of their street machine motors to produce more power. Now, like this truck, you've seen it, it's pretty wild, but take a look at what's coming down the road right now. One of the more wild supercharged entries you're going to see here at Let East is the 47 pickup truck of Chris Boudelier. They call him Bootsy. You have a wild truck here.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a 47 Studebaker. It's got a 350 with a 671 blower. It's a Oldsmobile transaxle in the rear. The top's been chopped and the steering wheel's moved to the right-hand side. Got four-wheel independent suspension, four-wheel disc brakes. I've been working on it for about 4 years, my dad and myself, just to be different. You know, you see the same old thing, you see the coupes, you see the T-buckets, you know, I just wanted to be different.
You know, you work all year for these 3 days. It's a shame they go by so fast. You want them to last forever. You want it to last because it reminds you of a time in our lives when everything seemed right. When you didn't get mugged walking through the park, and when you could buy a good, new American car for under $3,000, not some rice burner for $9 grand. I miss those days, but when all these people come together at Let East, magic happens. You know, there's a spirit of camaraderie and friendship here, as if this annual get-together is more like a big family reunion. A lot of people have made friends at Let East, and once a year they come together to see those friends again. People from that same period in time that for them stood still. We relived that slice of time called the 50s here at Let East. We put on 2 parties each year. Let East here at the Sheraton Meadowlands on Labor Day weekend, and Lost in the 50s in Cherry Hill, New Jersey every Memorial Day weekend. I'm Terry Cook. Consider yourself invited.
Well, that's it, fellas. Another year's gone by. It's time to go home. We miss everybody and everything. And most of all, wish everybody well. Down, please, me. Down, down. Down, please, me. Don't you ever go, you know You now, darling.
show, man. You're the king of the hill. All those cars in the background, you turn around and look at all those cars. That's your baby. Look at your child over here. You sit at home late at night, nobody knows what you go through, and you're looking over this whole sea, and you know what's really different about this is it's got character, it's a happening, and it's not a car show. How does it make you feel?
Well, I'll tell you, sometimes, and I'm going to cry here in a minute, sometimes a guy will walk up to me and stick out his hand to me at the bar or just any place and say thank you for doing this, and that makes it all worthwhile because these people really dig it, and I really dig it, and we're all having fun together, and that's basically it.
You suppose it's something from the heart that makes it happen like this?
Yeah, we all feel the same way. We're all in the same bag. We love cars, we love having a good time, and we're all having a good time together, and the volunteer workers and the participants and the spectators and everybody who's involved in this thing. It's just a good feeling. It makes me feel good, and I feel so good right now I'm going to cry, so I'm going to stop.
If you had one statement to give the people who are watching this, to reach out a message to all the people of the world who watch the show, what would it be?
I know this is going to sound corny, but we're so lucky to live in America where we can do something as wacky as this. When you look at all the other countries in the world, there's no place else in the world that we could do something like this. And the other thing is, thank you, Jesus, for being so good to us with the good weather, with being so kind to us and nobody being injured and everybody having a good time. Thank you, God. I love you. For the grace of God, I can do this. I'm going to cry.